Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So guys, in this video we are going to learn Laravel 8 form request validation. Okay, so basically we are going to insert the data and also we'll be updating the data with the same your form request validation. Okay, so we are going to use only one form request validation to insert or update the data in Laravel application. So guys, here as you can see that I have just installed a fresh Laravel file and served the artisan. So now guys, let's begin with set up the database. Okay, so I have just created one database named Laravel for beginner, and let's set up that in our env file. File is set. Let's close this. Now guys, let's open your terminal and create a migration table. So guys, we are going to start with the demo called student. So php artisan make colon migration where create underscore students table. Okay, so yep, here created migration. Let's go to database migration and the last table. Perfect. So now guys, let's integrate, I mean add the fields dollar table where string of I want to take as full name, then email, here spelling mistake, and then add a phone, and next one we want one course. That's it. So yep, and now guys, let's migrate this in our database. Give php artisan migrate, hit enter, and all the tables will be migrated. Perfect. So create student table done, and all the tables will be available in your database. So here is our students table. All set guys, and now let's create the model and controller for this student. Let's type the command php artisan make colon model, and the model name will be student, and with this only I want to create one controller, and this controller need to be in resource, so I'm going to use a resource. Okay, just hit enter, and here a model and your controller is created successfully. So let's check out. Go to your apps. Here inside the model you will find the student model. Let me just open this, and inside your http controller you'll find your student controller. Done. So with index, create, store, show, edit, update, and destroy functions already created with the help of resource. So now guys, let's begin with the model part where we will use protected dollar table is equal to give your table name. So that is nothing but students. So let me just copy the table name here. Let's copy this table name and paste. Okay, misspelled over here. So same concept goes with your column field. So let's type fillable and give a array format call full name, email, phone, and course. Done. So this was our model setup. So now guys, let's move on with the controller part. So here we go. On the controller we want to go view a page. Okay, something like give a forward slash students. Okay, so just give students. So here not found. So guys, now let's create a route for it. You can go to your routes web.php. Let me just remove all unwanted things. So guys, you can just use colon colon a resource route. Okay, so now you can give the path. So we just need the student, not the URL. Student, and the path I want to go to student controller. Student, I don't require, just remove this. We don't need to import that. Colon colon class. So the path is, let's copy that path. Okay, and paste that here. All set. So now guys, we are going to use the resource format. So first step, when the resource is called, you will go to index page. So I'll just show you over here, return index. So you can refresh now and you will find the index. Perfect. So if you want to understand how this is working, you can just check out with your route list. So let me just show you that PHP artisan route colon list. Hit enter and you will find that. So here is our student data. Okay. So when you call your student with the get method, it's going to index function, store, create, destroy as per its path. Okay. So we'll be seeing this all. So now guys, let's set up the page now. Return view where we'll tell student dot index file. Okay. Now let's go to resource views, create a folder with the name student, and inside the student I want one file named as index.blade.php. All set. So now guys, let's extend our app, and now you can extend the section. Yep. So py4 container row column md12, here card header h4 tag where I want student form request validation in Laravel 8. Okay, and let's add a tag over here, add student, where we are going to tell this float end. Make this button primary and give the path for him as URL, where you're going to tell the path is student slash create. Okay, so we are using a resource route. You can copy this and paste that student slash create. Okay, so now let's see the output for this. Here, refresh. Perfect. So now let's click on this add student and you'll redirect to student slash create. So this student slash create goes to your controller named create function. So let's copy this and paste here and use a create, and let's create the file. So resource views student, create a file with the name create.blade.php. Here, let's copy all the code and paste inside create and add student with form request validation in Laravel 8, and you can make this as back button now. Back. And now guys, you can just design with the form. So let's begin with the form code form, where method is equal to post. Here you start with your margin bottom 3, where label full name input dot form hyphen control name is equal to full name. All set. So let's copy this. The next was, which is the next column in our model, like email, phone, and course. So let's create that field also. ID. So you can just type email. The next is phone. Type the phone, and final course. Okay. So let's take this course, and one more thing, one we need, that is button. So let's create a button that will be save student, and the button type, which will be submit, and the class button hyphen primary. All done. So now guys, let's check the output for this. Now refresh. Perfect. So we have successfully designed with the form. And now guys, let's write the code to insert the data with the form request validation. Yep. So set the path where you are going to save it. So let's make it full width over here. And here you see, to store the data, we are going to call this same URL with the method post. Okay. So it goes to store controller. So now let's type that students, and we need to send a CSRF token at CSRF field. Now guys, when you're clicking on this, you're with the post method, you'll be going to your web, and this will handle your route, and you'll go back to your student controller at store method, okay, or a function. So now guys, over here, let's start with it. So first we are going to do the validation. So what validation you will be doing? The form request validation. So for that guys, you can just, I will show you one Laravel documentation over here. Under the basic, you are going to find with validation, and under this validation you are seeing the form request. Okay, form request validation, where you are going to create this. Okay, so this is the command. So let's php artisan make colon request your form request. Okay, so I'm going to tell that student form request, as simple. So let's see, request created successfully. So you can find that in app http request, where you will find your student form request. So first step guys, you have to make this to true. And now let's write the rule over here. So you can just start with creating dollar rules is equal to, and return dollar rules. And now inside this you are going to get your full name, where function with the array, and inside this you are going to tell it is required, and it's a string, and max I want to keep 191. So same concept with the other fields. So yep, let's take the phone, and this is not going to be, we'll keep digit 10 we required. Okay, let's copy and paste for the course. So same, it is a string in required and max field. And now guys, we are going to see over here, in we are missing with the email part. So we are going to do some other validation like unique for the email. Okay, because if we do for insert in the same, while updating also it will tell email already exists. So for that case guys, you are going to use another method. Let's use if condition, where inside this dollar this, where you will tell get method. Okay, so what method you are checking that? So let's check under post method, because we are going to save the data using post method, right? So same concept you are going to print it. So let's copy this and concatenate it. Okay, just add plus before the is equal to symbol, and in the array semicolon. And now guys, you are going to change this to email part, which is required, and it's a string also, and or else you can just add email, add it email, and if you require max also you can give. And now guys, your unique method comes over here. Let's type unique unique colon the table name students. So what the students is the table name which you have created, so that's student. And if you want to specify the column, you can specify it again, or else it will understand from here itself it's an email field. Done guys, and now let's return it. Done. So yep, here at the store function, when you submit the form, okay, let's go to create. When you click on the submit button, it goes to this URL with the method post and goes to your controller. So at this store request, instead of this, you have to create your student form request. Okay, so here the student form request and import that path. Okay, so which is the file, this file we are importing. So this rules is imported in your controller and used at the store function. So now guys, let's see what happens now. Okay, let's refresh. Let's click on save student. Oops, so there is something fishy with our form on this create. So let's go to our create form. Oops, you can see that method spelling is wrong. So let's give the correct spelling. Refresh once and let's try to submit. Okay, so it came back. So guys, why we are not seeing any error? Because we have not printed to check the error. So you can just type that is the if condition, where if you have any errors of any function, we have to add dollar over here. If any error occurs, then you're going to check over here. Let's take it ul li class alert alert warning, and here your for each loop, let's loop that, which you are going to check the errors of what, all errors whatever it comes from your data. So you can just add a message over here or you can mention that error itself, and open and close curly brace, print that. So we are going to print this in a li tag. That's it. Yep guys, and now let's see once again. Let's save. Perfect. So full name field, the phone field is required, all the fields are required. And now guys, if you want to change this message and show in different format, you can utilize this your form student form request, where you can add one function. So public function where messages function or return, where inside array you can start with calling with your field names. So that is full name, phone, course, email. Let me just show you one example. Full name dot required. So while required, we'll tell please enter your full name, copy and paste. Same concept with phone. When you're making with required, enter your phone number, and same concept with the course. Course, when you're required, enter your course. Okay, so you can just copy for the email also. Email, when you are required, please enter your email ID. And if you want the correct email of email, okay, which means email, this email field, if it's not correct, please enter correct email ID. Okay, so now guys, let's refresh and yep, save student. Here you find please enter your full name. So this is your custom message in Laravel form validation. So you can find this under your form request validation. Let me just show you. Here you customize your error messages. So let's get back. Now you can get back to your student controller, and now let's save the data into our database guys. So as simple, this dollar request you're going to take and store in a variable called data. Okay, where you're going to check the validated, okay, validated function. So whatever data is coming from this, you're validating that, and let's store that into our student model. So let's call the model colon create function. So if passes means directly you can insert the data, whatever data it is, like your status, pending, your 01 ternary operator, all the data you can manage through your form request. All set. So once it is success, you can return and redirect to with the message comma student added successfully. So where you want to redirect? Nothing but the main page. At the main page, that is students. All set. So now guys, import this class imported over here. If you want, you can use the try catch option. Try. So try catch block over here, and instead of throwable you can use exception. Done. Ex. So let's use in this format. All done guys, and here you can get your exception data. So let's copy this and paste here, and you can tell something went wrong, and you can concatenate that. All done. Yep guys, and now let's test this. So here we refresh. Let's save the data. So I'm going to add Wade at, I'm just adding Wade. So some random digit phone number, BCA, save student. Okay, validate digit. It's showing some does not exist. Let's see why, what happened. So you can get to that phone number. Okay, it's digits, not digit. So it's, you have to add that digits. So let's get back. So now you can resubmit, and perfect. So please enter correct email ID. Let's enter once again. Ved@gmail.com I want to enter, and let's enter correct 10 digits number. So first I'm going to make mistake now inside this phone. Let me just copy this. So I have not entered 10 digit phone number. Let's save. Here you will find the phone must be 10 digit. So let's again add that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 BCA, and now let's submit. Cool. So it's submitted, but we did not print the message. Let's go to our index page and just add a condition over here at if session of whatever we have set that message. Okay, so you can find in your student controller we have given this message. Okay, with message. So I'm printing that print message, and just add that in a h5 tag, open and close, and copy and paste this. So inside this, whatever data is there, echo it. That's it. Let's refresh once. Let more add once again. We have already saved the data. Okay, we got the data inserted. So let's add one more data, om@gmail.com. So random digit phone number and BCA, save student. Cool. So you can see that student added successfully, and let's see that. Perfect. So here we see all the data is added. So guys, we have successfully completed the form request validation with unique. Okay. So guys, as we have seen that we have completed with our creating the form, and now let's fetch the data in a HTML form. Okay, so let's get started. So guys, we are using the form request. Let me just show you route web.php. So we are using the resource route where you just need to copy the same route, and when you call that, let me just show you the path to get the data. So this is my route list where at index function you can get the data using get method. Done. So let's use that same path. Let's go to our student controller, add the index method. So we have already created the page in previous video. Dollar students is equal to your student model, okay, colon colon all function or a method. So now let's take this and pass in a compact function with the view students. So let's go and we can access this variable student. So insert this card header. After the card header, let's create a card body and table responsive, table bordered, table head, table row, table heading, where ID, email, I mean full name. So copy and paste, and let's make this phone, and the next data will be our course. Okay, so one edit button and a simple delete button over here. So let's type in the text body and table row. So before table row, use a for each and get the data which we have called students variable. We are getting that as item, and inside this item, let's loop table row, table data, where first value will be the item of ID. Same concept, full name, email, phone, and course. Then table data with a tag where you will mention edit. Let's design this button, button success, button small. Okay, and here you set up with your route, as we'll be seeing in next video about this. Okay, how to set up the route. So then copy and paste and check with the delete button and design this danger. All set. So let's refresh now. Okay, so the table data is not assigned correctly. Add a table. Okay, so you need to add this table, and now refresh. Perfect. So our table is designed successfully, and you can use striped inside this. Cool. So now guys, we have successfully fetched the data. Let me just add one more data. So you can add varun at gmail.com. So some random digit phone number, PCA, save student. Here you go. Student added successfully and it is fetched. Let's continue next with the edit and update option. So now guys, and where we are going to see how to edit and update the data with the same form request validation. Okay, so we will be seeing about the unique validation in Laravel 8. So yep guys, as we can see that while adding, when we save data, here you find all the data. So now let me add one existing email over here at gmail.com. So okay, so this is an already added email. So you'll find the email already exists. So same form we are going to use, and same form request validation we'll be using to update also. Okay, so at that time it should not show this error. So let's begin with it. Okay, so let's go to this edit button. Here we are, and we are using the resource route, guys. Okay, route resource. So how will you find that edit button option? So you can just type the route list, php artisan route list, and here you will get your data. And for editing the data, you can see that edit option is given over here, and this is the path how you can edit it. Okay, so let's copy this and call that in our edit button. So students / your id and then the edit method. Okay, so let's concatenate and call the $item of id. Let me just divide this set. So let's get back, refresh, and now let's click on this edit. So I'm going to edit on id2, edit. So you are getting the perfect path. So now guys, let's get the data with the help of model. Let's go to our controller at edit. So yep, this is our edit method, and here you can see just you need to call the model, student model you have to call, and then let's return this. So I'm not using any id, so you can get the output. Perfect. So you're getting id number 2. If you search with id number 1, here you'll get your id number 1 data. Go on with 3, you are getting 3. If you go on with a wrong id, you'll find null value. Okay, so I mean 404. So let's continue with id 2, and now let's get this data in our blade file. Let me just comment this, return view. I want to go to my student folder at edit page. Okay, so we don't have an edit page now. Let's create that. Inside my student, edit.blade.php. Done. And we require the same as create form. So let's copy all the code and paste for our edit. Okay, so let's see the output. Refresh. So here we get, let's change the title. Instead of add, we will tell edit student. Done, guys. So now you can change the button name as update student. Let me just minimize this. Okay, so now guys, let's fetch the data inside this input fields. So let's get back, and yep, so when you're passing this in your edit, right, when you're calling the edit function, you're calling the page. Inside this only, let's use compact function, and inside this compact function you're passing this $student data. Done. And with this help of student data, you're going to your edit page and get the value inside the value attribute of input field, $student of his database column field name. So that is full name. So let me just show you that database column field name, full name, email, phone, and course. So whatever you have this, if you're using a model, okay, if you're using a model over here, so make sure you are specifying all the fields over here, or else it might misbehave the data. Okay, so yep, let's copy this and paste here for the second, third, and fourth. Course, phone, next was email. Done. So you can check the output. Perfect. So here you get for the home. Let's move on with ID1. Here you edit ID1, you get the with. Okay, so let's get back to ID number 2 itself. Done. And now guys, let's submit this form. So when you update the form, you're going to how update the URL. So let's check the route list. So this is our route list for resource route, and to update the data you are going with student and then just send the ID. Okay, so let's send that. This is my students / concatenate $student of ID. That's it. So your student variable from your controller and getting your ID. Send that with the post method, where you have to send this method with the help of, while updating your setting, put or patch. You have to use it. Okay, so let's use that also at method, where we will tell put. That's it. So when you call this put, it will go to your resource and aram se it will take and go to your student controller. So add this update function. So now guys, while updating it, we need to check the form request validation. So as we have done for our storing the student form request, right? So same form request, we are going to copy that. So this is our form request. Let's add that in our update function. Okay, so whatever request you get in the form request, and this is our model. So yep guys, and now let's create a variable data is equal to your requested should be validated. Okay, so all the requests should be validated, and then only you can store that data into our database. So guys, now over here let's use the model. We are not going to search the ID and all, so let's use the model itself, where I will tell fill this dollar data. So whatever data comes, let's save that, save function. So once saved, you can just return and redirect to the web page, I mean main page. So let me just copy that and paste and tell updated successfully. And now guys, let's check this output. So we have, let me just update the data. Om Prakash update. Okay, please enter the phone number. Email already exists, it's giving, right? Okay, so here you see please enter phone number. I think data has come wrong. Let's check that first. At edit blade, here you need to change that phone. Okay, we have missed that. I mean, I have just did a mistake over here. Refresh. Okay, so phone is coming. Now let's update this. So you find student updated successfully. Okay, where nothing missed. Let's get back. And if you try to add this ved@gmail.com to home, let's update. Here you find student updated but did not update the email, but we need to do the validation. So let's get back to our controller. Here at student form request, let's go to this student form request. At rules, we have set the global right over here to validate this, but in post method we validated the email. But what in case of put or patch method? So in that case, you are going to check this one. Okay, I'm using put method, so I'm adding that put, and over here you need to write a rule for it. So now guys, let's test with this also once. Let me just show you. So I'm going to update this over here. You can see email already been taken. Okay, so let's write the code. So let us use a rule over here. Rule ;:unique unique function. Okay, so inside this unique function, our students table we are going to check. Done. And we have to ignore while update. So ignore function, and inside this you can use dollar this of student. Okay, so this student means your model. It will check your model and update it. So now let's refresh and let's try to again update it. So you can see, let me just add one PRA update. Okay, let's see, rule not found. Let's import that class. Okay, import class, eliminate validate rule. Okay, so you need to just add this rule. Done. And let's get back, guys. Refresh. Let's update once again. Update. Perfect. So student updated. Here you can see that Om Prakash and email is same. So now guys, I am going to edit Om Prakash and add the ved@gmail.com. Let's check that. Editing with id2, and I'm adding us ved@gmail.com. Update. So you can find email has already been taken. Done. And now let's try to update with existing record itself. Perfect. So student updated successfully. So guys, this was one method of updating the unique value, okay, with form validation. So we are using the same form request to update, insert and update the data. Done. So I'm going to teach you one more method, guys. Instead of this student direct model, you can call the another method $this of route. Okay, and what route you're going to call? Your resource route. So your model student. Okay, done. And this will be your, let's keep that in a variable student. Copy this. Let me just copy and paste. Let's comment this for the reference, and let's take this variable student of ID. So that column ID it will take, and ignore that. So now let's check this method also. So let's edit with ID number 1, and let's give the full name and update student. Here we go. Student updated successfully. Let's try to mix with email om@gmail.com, an existing email. So it should throw an error. Email has already been taken. Perfect. So guys, we have successfully done with our how to do update the data while using the form request validation for the same. Okay. So same form request validation is used for inserting and updating the data. So guys, now in this video we'll be seeing about how to show the data, and we are also going to do the delete the data. Okay, so two tasks will be completing. So guys, now let's get started. So let's move to this table design where we'll create one show button and one delete button which is already present. So guys, let's get back, and here is our table. So after this I want to keep one show button, and let's copy this URL, copy, Control C and paste, Control V. Let me zoom it. Okay, so let's change this button with info, and let's tell show, and create the URL as student slash ID. Okay, why? Because we are going to use a route called a resource. So we are going to use a resource route of students. So let me just show you the route list over here. PHP artisan route colon list. Hit enter. Here you go. So guys, these are our route list where for to show the data or get the data, you just need a simple over here. So you can see student show where you can follow with the student slash with the parameter. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to our index page and here student slash parameter. Perfect. So now guys, let's get back and refresh. Perfect. So now let's click on the ID number 1 on the show button. So you're going with the ID 1. So we did not get any response. Why? Because we are going to student controller. As you can see that resource route at student controller. So let's go to student controller at show function or a method. Okay, so this is our show method where inside this you are going to fetch the ID. So guys, we are using a resource route and we will see in a Laravel advanced method where we are calling this student model directly and you can get the data. So let's return this and check if you're getting that exact value ID number 1. Refresh. Perfect. So you can get the data ID number 1. So guys, this is if you're not understanding how you have got the data like without the ID. So this is called our Laravel advanced of your model call. Okay. So yep. Now let's return this in a form and display it. Okay. As simple. So you can comment this for right now and let's return view where we'll tell student page at show. I mean student folder show page. Let's go to resource view student where inside the student I want to create a show.blade.php file. All set. We need an extensions. So let's extend the files. So guys, you can just copy this and paste. Let's end the section. So end the section where let's end this div also and div. Let's copy and paste. Done guys. So inside this column md6, let's give one h5 tag where we want the data to be getting with the variable name student of its what are the records we have fetched over here. As you can see, full name. So these are nothing but your database column field name. Okay, full name, email, phone and course. So let's copy this. Now your full name, you can just give full name colon and then your next data, email, phone and course. Okay, so let me just paste that email, type that email, phone and finally one course. Okay, make it to C. Done. So now guys, let's see the output. So before getting your output, you just need to go to your student controller where you have called this page, right? So you need to pass that variable called student. So compact of what? Your student variable. Okay, just send this and this variable will be sent to your blade file. So where you can call the student as simple. So now let's get back, refresh. Perfect. So you have got the data guys. So you can go back and let's check with the ID number 2. Click on show. Perfect. So you have got the data. So now guys, we have successfully completed with the show method and now let's begin with deleting these records. Okay. Yep. Let me just close this show and let's move to our index file below at the delete button. So this is our delete button guys, where I just want to create this in a form tag. Okay, so let's use form where method is equal to post and URL where you have to give the perfect delete button. Okay, so let's just bring this down and create a button. So we are going to use this and edit this a tag as a button. So let's make it to button, and instead of href, let's give button type and make it to submit. So you just need to end this with the button. As simple. Now let's create the route. So as you can see guys, let me just show you the route list over here. So for delete, destroy. Okay, so this is the route which you are going to use delete method. So yep, let's create the route with the name students / you need the id. So let's concatenate dollar item of id. So here this id, as you can see, that id I'm passing it, and we are going to delete the data using delete route, right? As you can see over here, it's asking for delete method. So first pass the CSRF field because form request it is, and then your method, which will be the delete. All set. So now guys, let's go and check this. So you can refresh. So if you click on this delete button, it will go to your destroy function. Let me just show that. Let's go to a student controller where a destroy function here. So let me just show you that return I am delete. Okay, so let's check whether it's working or not. So once refresh the page, and now let's click on this id number 2, delete. Perfect. So we are redirecting to the correct function at destroy using resource route. So now guys, let's check the data whether it's coming or not using student variable. I mean this model which we have called in the function. So now you can check the output. So refresh once again, and here you get the output. So now you have to delete this record guys. So for that you just need to add one delete function. Okay, so it will delete the record. So before this, let me just return and redirect back to the same page. Okay, so redirect back to that where we have clicked the button with the message where you will tell student deleted successfully. All done. So now guys, let's get back, and let me just click on this id number 3 to delete this record. Let's click, and here you go. Perfect. Student deleted successfully, and here you can see that student data is deleted. Let's check in the database also. You can see that third record is there. When I refresh, it will be only first 2 records. That's it. So guys, in this video we have successfully completed with how to show and delete the data using a resource route in our Laravel application. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share.